Hey everybody, Bart Gurley with the Gurley Group, here for your monthly market update for North Dallas, so let's jump right in. Okay, we're going to try something a little bit different this month. Right now it's November 2022. We're going to look at October sales data for North Dallas, but I'm also going to put a bigger perspective on this historically and see how this data compares. And at the very end of this video, I'm going to make a prediction of how in the next 3 to 4 months, we're going to know exactly what's happening in our market. So let's get started. What does a normal year sales volume curve look like in North Dallas? I'm going to show you right now. So this is going to be reflecting our January to December. Normal sales curve is going to look something like this. So we're coming in here January, we're going to have a little dip. Things are going to ramp up in March, summer, June, July, August. We're going to have our max sales volumes, and then we're going to trend down every month all the way and then have a little bit of a bump in December. So for people that have to move. So that's what a normal sales curve looks like. And so my prediction is going to have something to do with this line at the end of the video. So let's get to that in a little bit. But first of all, let's start with sales. Okay, so we're going to cover some sales volume data historically and for October 2022. So like with the sales curve, what you're going to see is the number of sales per month in North Dallas will range anywhere from a low point of around 6,000 all the way up to 10,000 homes in a month. The 10,000 was really due to the pandemic, that 2020 to summer 2022. We did hit 10,000 homes in a month in North Dallas with single family detached homes, but generally we'd be in the 88 to 9,500 range. So we spiked this year obviously with this crazy low rates and the inventory issues, just like the rest of the country. So let's look at the data for this October 2022. We're going to compare that to November of 18. And so there's a correlation there with why we're a little lower than normal, because typically we'd stop around 6,500 to 7,000 sales in a month. And we're low at 62, 67 this last month. And primarily that's going to be due to our rates spiking, right? They've been high. They actually breached 7% average in the end of October, 7.08 national average. And we see this number dipping low, and the only time it's been this low is all the way back in November of 18. And that's when their rates spiked to close to 5, when they had been historically closer to 4 or less, well into the 3s. And we see that affecting volume of sales. So otherwise, we're still right on par with normal sales curves, you know, within a few hundred sales of normal for the October-November timeframe. And so I don't see anything major, you know, sky is falling information here. So let's go on to another piece of data and see what that tells us. Okay, so this is what everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know about pricing. So let's talk about it. We're going to give you the October 2022 average price of a sale in North Dallas. We're going to compare that to 2018, just like we did in this, the previous information on sales volumes. And so let's talk about what it looked like in 2018. Average price in Dallas, Texas was $300,000 for a single family detached home in Dallas in 2018. That ranged from 290 to 300 most of the year, 2018. October 2022, $465,000. That is up 2% from September 2022. Funny enough, prices went up this month, which is curious. Great news for people that bought the last 2 years, worried about their equity dissolving and maybe making a bad purchase with the crazy market, but prices are holding, at least this month. So that's great news for buyers. I think it actually gives you a little bit of an element of safety, knowing that you can confidently buy and not be buying in a downward trending market. Although prices have dropped obviously from a high point in June, but we're still 55% higher than we were in 2018. So if you've owned your home more than 5 years, you're sitting pretty most likely. So prices you haven't missed your window, right? If you're a seller, you're still able to sell, probably make a great return, invest that equity in another property. Okay, so the last bit of data we're going to cover real quickly is absorption rate. So total number of houses available to buy and how many we're selling each month. We saw the highest absorption rate that I've ever seen in my 24 years of doing business here in North Dallas. So everything that went on the market was selling. Everybody knew that, but let's put some numbers to that. Typically, we'll see around 20 to 25,000 homes on MLS at any given time in Dallas. That goes also back to around 2015. Previous to that, we were still probably on the tail end of recovery from the previous crash, where we'd see around 10 to 12,000 homes on the market at any given time. All of a sudden, we saw a rapid increase around 2015, and we've been hovering, like I say, between 25,000 homes on the market at any given time. So when you compare to what we're selling, around that 6,000 in the low time houses a month, and then in the prime summer months, we're selling, close to 10,000 homes, about half of the homes coming on the market. Those are great numbers for sellers. It also gives a lot of choice to buyers. So it's a fairly healthy market, very robust, really safe decision making in that environment. So what do we see now? 8,200 new homes hit the market in October of 2022. So let's say 8,200. Now that's not the number we're going to use to create the absorption rate. It's actually closer to 20,000 in October 2022. So you're going to see an absorption rate typically around 30%, 29-30%, which is still a great seller's market and a balanced market for a buyer. It leans obviously towards sellers a little bit, creating a healthy competition for buyers, but it's not anything like we saw where buyers are overpaying and bidding against dozens of other buyers, which was really a crazy anomaly and not very healthy for either party. And we sold 6,200 homes last month, right? So obviously these could be homes that are selling that are already on the market. So you do see expireds. And what I'm taking away from this is, if you're a seller thinking about selling and you're not looking at data that's historical, not just the last 3 months, 4 months, and starting in July, August, that's skewed data. It's inaccurate of what the market's actually doing. It's actually going to be a little lower, as we've seen in the price drops and price averages. So you'll get money off if you're a buyer, but your seller, you've got to price that thing right, and it will sell quickly. Our days on market average is back to a normal 20 to 30 day time frame. So pricing your home right is vital to take advantage of the healthy sales volumes that we're still seeing month over month. Okay, so what does all this mean? We got lots of data on the board. I've been talking about all kinds of sales volumes and prices and absorption rates, but the main takeaway is we have a very healthy market for buyers and sellers right now. We are selling a lot of homes still, regardless of what the national news says or even your local news says. The prices have gone down, but historically over the last 5 years, they're still 55% higher than they were 5 years ago. So there's still tons of equity to be made if you're a seller, and if you're a buyer, it's safe to buy. We're holding values. They're not continuing to drop. We actually were 2% up in October compared to September on pricing. So that is very positive for the market overall, especially if you've bought in the last 2 years, worried about your equity dissolving. That's not happening, at least not at this point that we can tell on the data. It is vitally important to work with a great agent, somebody that has experience and somebody that's actually looking at the data and not just going off the national news or what they've always done. So make sure you're working with a great agent. Obviously at the Gurley Group here, we're happy to help. We have a long track record of serving our clients and delivering the best experience you can possibly have when you're buying or selling. Our contact information is below. Please subscribe. We put these out every month. We put a lot of effort into what our recommendation is. And finally, here's my prediction. Remember that curve we did at the beginning of the message? So we're here roughly, and we're going to come to the end of the year. Hopefully our sales volumes and pricing is going to hold steady another month and a half, 2 months. We'll start over here in January, and in March, this is where we're going to see what's happening in the economy. If we don't see those sales volumes start to track high like we always have for every year that I've been in business, we're going to have a problem. So March 2023, that's when we're going to start to look at data on sales to see if we're ramping up as usual or if this is going to linger and really impact our economy long term. I can't wait to find out. I feel like I'm pretty optimistic after this data we looked at today. If we can help, please reach out. There's a YouTube channel that has previous months' market updates. And then obviously you'll get notified every time we put another market update out if you subscribe. So like it if you like, comment, we'll jump on it and get back to you if you have any questions. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.